It's been a month since the hype around the Pixel 10 Pro started. Most reviewers have already switched to the iPhone 17 Pro, but I've kept it as my daily driver. And to be honest, after 30 days I and many other YouTubers were completely wrong about this device. Because after a month of use, a lot of screen time and many photos, I actually noticed a few things that neither I nor other YouTubers praised or unfortunately criticized in their videos, and now that the iPhone 17 is out, it makes it really hard for me to fully recommend this phone anymore, so this is my honest review of the Pixel 10 Pro 1 month after all the hype. But let's start with the good things first, and that's clearly the software. Android 16 with the new design runs on the Pixel 10 Pro, and it's really one of the best software experiences you can get. There are beautiful animations everywhere, the haptic feedback is perfect, and new apps are updated to the new design almost every week. I especially like the new settings app with color accents and the redesigned control center with the animations. And sure, it might not be the most customizable version of Android, but you still have many customization options, like the recent ability to change the shape of app icons. Google's main goal was to make everything as intuitive as possible, and I think they succeeded. This might sound trivial, but the best example of this is the stopwatch. Yes, I think even a non-tech savvy person could use the previous stopwatch, but because the buttons are so big now, it's easier even for my brain to press the right one, and you have to think about it even less subconsciously. If you've already updated, you will know what I mean. But what definitely makes everyday life easier than bigger buttons in a stopwatch is of course AI. Google simply still has the smartest smartphone on the market with the Pixel 10 Pro, and I consciously say smartest, because sure, other manufacturers also have 100 different AI features that even Google doesn't have, but most of them are just gimmicks that use once and then never again. In contrast, most features on Pixel devices simply feel a bit more premium and refined, and I actually use them quite often in daily life. Well, maybe all features except Camera Coach, but we will get to that later. At the heart of it is Gemini as an assistant, and I don't think I need to say much about the assistant itself, since it's now the new standard on all smartphones, and for me this switch is a real game changer. I use Gemini most for to-do and calendar entries, because you can just say things like copy all appointments from yesterday to today and add this year's Apple event to the calendar, and Gemini understands it and can even execute multiple commands at once. Then of course there's Gemini Live, which has also been improved. Not only can things now be marked by Gemini, for example if you're just talking about an object, but now Gemini Live can finally also access apps like Calendar, Gmail and Maps. And when Google finally releases the Gemini Live they promised in the coming months, meaning it can operate your smartphone or call companies, then we are officially in a science fiction movie, then we are just missing the robots. In fact, even James Cameron said a few days ago that he's finding it difficult to write a new Terminator because, according to him, we are already living in the science fiction age, but that's just a side note. The second most important feature in daily life on Pixel devices are all the call features. Not having to answer spam or scam calls anymore is a real game changer, and if you buy something like a Pixel 9a for your parents or grandparents, they would also be well protected from scam calls, because even if they answer, Gemini Nano always scans the call and alerts you if the call seems like a scam. Other features I use daily include the automatic translation of chats, the automatic captions, now playing and circuit search. These are all features we've known for years, and I don't think I need to explain them now. As for the new features like code translation, I find them all useful and they work well, except perhaps for Camera Coach, because I really don't know any person except my grandma who should follow these instructions for 20 seconds for one photo, but whatever. Just a real quick 10-second ad for my own thing. Starting next January I'm launching Tech Mail. It's a short email you will get once a month with the most important tech news of that month, but the best part is you will be entered into a free giveaway every single month where you can win new tech products. Don't worry, I won't spam you with AI generated emails every week, the link is in the pinned comment, but for now let's get back to the video. So when it comes to the features, I have absolutely no criticism. We already have so many that I have no idea what else Google could possibly add next year. However, something Google definitely needs to address next year is the camera, which turned out to be a real disappointment. Because don't get me wrong, as I said in my first review, the photos are still perfect in 99% of cases, the colors, sharpness, contrasts, everything at top level. But when you really use a smartphone in everyday life, you start to notice things that you didn't see in the first few days. For example, I unfortunately found some strange bugs some I already had with the previous model that nobody really talks about. For example, when you want to take a shot outside in somewhat brighter light, sometimes Pixel devices go completely crazy, the preview becomes blurry, the brightness is cranked way up and the entire image is completely completely overexposed. It looks something like this, and sure, it doesn't happen often, but it happens a few times even on devices from friends, and when it happens, it's really frustrating. I hope Google will fix this with an update. What I've noticed much more positively though is the 100x zoom. Sure, there are people who say, oh no, that's completely generated and not reality, but honestly, what else would you do with such a photo? Overall, it works really reliably. I haven't noticed any major flaws except with people where Google disables it to avoid problems. And of course, it's debatable how often you really zoom in 100 times with your smartphone, but the Pixel improves images even at 30x, and that's really practical for things like city trips or buildings. So overall, the Pixel 10 Pro performs with a really strong photo camera, and compared to manufacturers like Apple and Samsung, Google can really offer a lot. What's even more interesting on the Pixel 10 Pro is the video mode, because yeah, it's better than in the previous generation, and especially the stabilization has been really improved in my opinion, so I wouldn't fully agree with people who say Samsung and Apple have clearly better video modes, because yes, when it comes to pure filming performance like 8K on Samsung or ProRes RAW on iPhone, Google still has a lot of catching up to do, but when it comes to completely normal videos, I have to say Google actually has the best video mode on the market, at least when you activate Video Boost, because with Video Boost, videos are uploaded in the cloud, improved there, and then downloaded again. This significantly improves the videos, especially at night or with stabilization. And yes, unfortunately, the whole process takes several hours, but let's be honest, when do you actually shoot videos on a smartphone? As for me, I only make videos at special events or at special moments like a birthday, and in those cases, I don't mind at all if the videos aren't ready until the next morning, because they get a significant quality boost, giving me a beautiful memory for a lifetime. However, if you really want to film professionally with your smartphone, you are getting a good but not the best video camera here, and you might be better off with the S25 or the iPhone. Regarding the battery, I have to admit it has gotten much better. As always with a new smartphone, the first few days are the worst, then everything adapts and I easily got through 1, sometimes even 2 days if I wasn't out and about much. So you shouldn't worry about that when buying, Google has improved that significantly in recent years. A feature I underestimated at first is Pixel Snap. Being able to use any MagSafe accessory with a Pixel without compromise is actually more practical than you might think at first. And you will be amazed how much MagSafe accessories are out there, like this little charging robot from Louis. It's basically Gemini Live just in physical form as a little robot that can drive around playfully on your desk. Yes, some might see this as another AI gadget, but honestly, have you ever seen such a cool charger? Plus, it can remember things like reminding you to have a drink by gently nudging your glass, and of course it can also play, talk and make calendar entries. But I don't want to spoil too much, a review is coming soon, so subscribe to the channel. When it came to performance, there were enormous expectations for Google this year since they switched from Samsung to TSMC, and I would say the situation is the same as with the battery. You can't expect record-breaking numbers, but the performance is completely sufficient for daily use and even for gaming, although I wonder how many of you actually play demanding games on your smartphone. So what's my conclusion after 30 days and who should buy this phone? If you want a pro everyday phone at a very good price and you care about AI, a great camera and especially software and design, the Pixel 10 Pro will probably be the best buy by Black Friday. If you are looking for a bit more performance, then perhaps the S25 Ultra is the better choice for you, and if you use an iPhone, you can either buy the iPhone 17 Pro or save the money and leave the Apple ecosystem with the Pixel 10 Pro and matching Pixel buds. For me personally, the Pixel 10 Pro is the perfect smartphone right now, and I'm more than happy with it as my daily driver, at least for the next few months. Have a great day and I will see you next week. Bye.